Hello, entrepreneurs, aspiring entrepreneurs, dream starters, and people who are going after what they really want in life. My name is Mike Fallat. I own Dream Starters University, and we help entrepreneurs use their story as their competitive advantage. The guy that I'm interviewing today, his name is Kurt Osburn, and he is a world record holder. So he's the first person I ever met that actually has a world record. I'd like for you guys to please give a great welcome to Kurt Osburn, the wheelie king of the United States or the world. I'm not sure. What's up,
The
Kurt?
world. Yeah.
Of the world, man. Yeah. Great to have you, dude.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
I came across your profile on Instagram, and I'm telling you right now, what I saw was it's awesome. You're doing a documentary. You're going for a world record again in May, and you're going to be wheeling across the United States. Was it 28 or 3,800 miles, somewhere in there?
About 2,800 miles. Yes.
2,800 miles. So
Yes.
Please, man, tell the audience, whoever's watching this on YouTube, Facebook, whatever, who are you and what made you become the world record holder?
Wow. Okay. That probably started since I was like 9 years old, man. Like I've always been infatuated. I'm not here to plug Guinness, but I was always infatuated with the Guinness Book of Records. So as a kid, I had this giant book and I'm reading through all these crazy records. And it's like, wow, I want to be in that book someday. And I've always been good at doing wheelies, whether it be bicycle, motorcycle, whatever it is. And I said, that's how I'm going to get in the book. And yeah, it took me literally 20 years later, my 29th birthday, I broke the Guinness World Record for the longest continuous wheelie. That's without stopping. And that was 11 hours straight. And I did it on my 29th birthday. And I give props to Jack Lane. That's why I did that on my birthday, because he always did his records on his birthday. So, and that's kind of what really got me going to the next record, which is when I rode across the country, and I rode from Hollywood, California, all the way to Orlando, Florida. And that was 2,839.6 miles. 1.8 million pedal revolutions. Yeah, that tells you how bored I was. I was counting how many times I pedaled. And that took me 74 days to do it.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
How did you – because I grew up riding bicycles with my friends. We'd always do the racing in the woods. My brother was awesome at wheelies. How did you, know that you were just, the king of this? How did you know you're the best?
Well, I really wasn't. I didn't consider myself my best, honestly. And when it goes deeper into it, by the way, I'm going to be producing a documentary soon about this, so we will really get the dirt on how it all started. But honestly, it came from my older brother's best friend. He was kind of the wheelie king of the block, and I was like, when I watched him ride, I go, Dale, you got to teach me how to do this. So he's the one that kind of took me under his wing and taught me. And I just became obsessed with it and go, I want to be better. I want to be better. And back then, when we're talking, this is in the 70s, you used to count how many houses you can ride past. So if you can ride 3 houses, that was considered good. That's 100 feet, but that's considered far. So that's kind of how it all started.
Now, can you tell me a little bit about the dedication it takes? I hear a little bit of a ring there. So I'm not sure if you have any headphones or not, but
no.
Okay. I'll just talk a little bit softer.
I have a wired piece maybe I can plug into, but I don't want to experiment while we're going live here.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So I'll try to just talk a little softer, because that's whenever it can kind of get picked up. But anyway, you talk about the dedication it takes, because I talk about entrepreneurship as a journey. And you're constant. It's a marathon, not a sprint. So it took me 10 years to become, I guess, profitable with my startups and getting people to know you and using your story to make the connections. So tell me about the dedication it takes to either go after a record, which might take years in itself. Once you get the record, you can use that as your own marketing tool to get to bigger and better things.
Correct. That really was my drive. I knew if I could accomplish that, you can pretty much accomplish anything in life. And I know it sounds kind of corny to a lot of people when well, why are you trying to do a world record? I'm like, well, something okay, you could be the best out of 7 billion people on the planet. To be the best at it, it's kind of a cool feeling.
Of all time. of all time.
Yeah. And so it takes a lot of, it's kind of like you've got to have the vision, the drive, and obviously the dedication. I've had a couple friends that actually tried some other world records in the past, and they didn't have the drive, and unfortunately they failed at what they tried to do. I'm like, well, you gotta like commit 110%, unless you're just a naturally gifted athlete and you say, I'm gonna try to do the highest, or like say Michael Phelps, who's just a natural awesome swimmer. Granted, he put in several years of training, but he's a gifted athlete. So it still takes a lot of dedication and consistency and persistence. And I think a lot of people don't have that. They could tap into it, but I think they just get so sidetracked with other things. And if it doesn't come instantaneously, they're just like, okay, whatever, I'll just move on to the next thing. That's what I see in a lot of people. And it's kind of, sad, but everyone can't be that way. You either gotta dig deep and want it more than anything on the planet.
What did you sacrifice along the way?
Man, so it's kind of crazy. Like, I'd have a part-time job, and most of the other time I'd be riding on my bicycle. That's really is what it is. It's kind of like, you ask someone like a Lance Armstrong, like, well, what did you do? Well, I cycled a lot, and so it's pretty much getting in the saddle and just getting your body used to it and getting better and better and better and better. And it's like, since I am a personal trainer by trade, you got to take it in baby steps, and you get progression. And once you got progression, you got momentum. And once you got momentum, there's really no stopping. So,
and I guess, just to relate it to entrepreneurs out there, maybe they're not going after a world record, but they're going after their business. And to me, whenever I was starting out, I was going to a gym in the morning and working from 5 a.m. till 9 a.m. so I could work on my dream at the end, during the day. And everybody around me was like, what in the hell are you doing, man? You can make more money than $12 an hour or $10 an hour at a gym. Why are you doing part-time work when you can go get a full-time job and just be okay? So did you feel that resistance from a lot of your people around you? Like, hey man, what the hell are you doing this for? Like,
totally. Yeah. My parents were very supportive. They kind of questioned it for a minute, but they're just like, my parents they backed me once I said, no, I'm going to do this all the way to the end. And to back it up a little bit, honestly, it took me 3 tries to actually break the record and be recognized by Guinness for the record. So it's a little bit more than just like, oh, I'm going to do this record. There's a lot of paperwork you got to do. There is a lot of everything has to come together right in order to get in the book, or even just to get the certificate. Okay, that doesn't mean you necessarily go in the book. Thankfully, I was able to get in the book, and I got a photograph in the book. That's the 2001 edition. And I actually have exhibits worldwide in every single museum around the world. In Guinness Museum, I have an exhibit. I'm very grateful for that. But unfortunately, a lot of people who do chase these kind of things, people definitely there's discouragement. I got people looking at me like, what the hell are you doing? And I'm like, to each their own, man. If you want to go do that, that's cool. This is what I want to do. I believe everyone was put on this planet they were gifted in some fashion or way. And, whether you choose to use that and chase after your dream, that remains to be seen. But this is what I believe I'm meant to do. I'm meant to break world records. And so here I am.
Amazing. When you broke the world record, what happened to your life? Number one, was it validation? Because whenever I look at business and starting a business and writing a book, when people get that book in their hand, or whether it's starting a business and they become profitable in that first month or that first year, they're validated. And I think you feel that like, all right, I'm not an idiot anymore. I did it. Did you feel that?
Exactly. Yeah, totally. Where I really got the I guess that validation is when Guinness actually accepted the record. Because of the other 2 tries, they rejected me, and I was so frustrated. And I was like, what happened? What did I do wrong? And, I just had to go back to the books and like do my homework and go, okay, this is what I have to submit it this way. Like, they're very technical on how they accept their records. And it's even worse today. And now they're even more technical. So sense of technology, they want to monitor it even more closely. But once I got that from them and I actually got the certificate, that's when it hit me. That's the validation. That's like, okay, I did it. That's what I wanted to do when I was looking at that little book when I was 9 years old. So yeah, it was like a huge relief off of me. Like I hit it. Okay, where do I go from here now? So that's why I said, okay, let's try to do a cross country record. And when I did the cross country, I was the first guy ever to do it. So it's not like I really actually broke a record. I set this record, and it's kind of like it still stands today. And that was back in '99. So it's still there.
I have always dreamt about getting on a motorcycle and traveling across the United States. I'm in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. You're out in California, right?
Yes.
Now, I always thought, it's going to be pretty tough. I'm going to be on a motorcycle. I'm going to be hitting wind and rain and all that stuff. You're going to be on a bicycle with one wheel in the air the whole time. Can you explain that to me in how do you even get that in your head that you're going to do something that insane? Starting a business from nothing is insane. This to me is absolutely craziness. So tell me what's going through your mind.
Wow. So it sounds kind of weird when I tell people this, but getting the sponsors and the backing is much more difficult than the ride itself. And people go, what? Are you kidding me? I go, that's just the physical aspect. I mean, you just train your body and you can do that. It's getting actually the endorsements to people to back you. And, be honest with you, right now, I'm struggling with it. I've been working on this project for 2 years, and it's like I'm still like trying to figure out, okay, how am I going to get the funds to pull this off? Because of the things that I do need. I have to have a full RV support to follow me. When you discussed about wind, okay, so that's like my biggest enemy is wind. So I'm having this one-of-a-kind custom wind deflector trailer. Think of it kind of like the Pope Mobile. It's this clear plexiglass trailer with no floor on it and no back end, and I'm going to ride inside this thing as someone pulls it. Yeah, someone's going to pull this thing at 10 miles an hour, and I'm going to ride this thing all the way across the country on Interstate 10.
So you're going to be on a road that's supposed to be speed limit 65, 70, maybe 75.
Yeah.
You're going to be going 10 miles per hour.
Yes.
And people are going to be so pissed off at you.
Well,
that's awesome.
Yes.
That is so awesome. I swear to God, that's phenomenal. Oh God, I would love to see. You're gonna film this whole thing on a documentary, so we're gonna see this sometime, right?
For sure.
What'd you do for the first time?
Man, so the first time, totally winged it. We took. Oh my gosh, it's so funny. I took my own truck with me at the time, and literally my best friend, he drove the truck on the freeway, like on the right side of the freeway. We took the driver's side door, tied it open, and we had the window up, so it deflected it from the headwind. And then I rode inside this little cubby hole, and I remember doing that for about a good 800 miles. I rode like that, right there in that cubby hole. And he just would sit there and talk to me and just kept me company. And it was so like, we just improvised, I was like, okay, how am I going to do this? Like once I hit New Mexico, it was like really windy. And I was like, okay, I got to figure a way how to get around this. And so that's what we did. And I learned from that. I'm like, okay, next time I'm going to do it a little more slick, a little more professional. And that's why I'm building this trailer. And I think it's going to be so cool because I'm going to have cameras in it. I'm going to have misters in it, LED lights. It's going to be pimped out.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Did you feel like Forrest Gump a little bit? Where basically, like, I think about him running through the desert and all. Did you feel like that? Like,
totally.
Number one, you run it, but people started being like, who is this guy? And like paying attention.
Totally. And what's funny, that's when that movie came out, was in 99. That's when I did it. So it was like really fresh in people's minds. And a lot of people did call me Forrest Gump. I wish I got the notoriety like Forrest Gump, but I totally felt like that. Yes.
Did you get media coverage?
I did. Back then, Guinness was really supportive of my ride, and so they handled all my PR. And so as I was coming into local cities. Like number one, I had LA, which is a big media market. It's number two media market. I had a lot of coverage there. Then I hit Phoenix. As I came in the major cities, I got a lot of coverage there. I never hit the big boys. I never got. I came this close to getting on Tonight Show, and I came so close to getting on Good Morning America, but I just got bumped. I never really. I think my biggest piece was I did Howard Stern when he was on CBS Radio. I did Howard Stern.
Wow. Cool. Can you get a clip of that?
Oh man, I don't think I have that recorded, man. I mean, I realized that was almost 19 years ago. So, there's another big radio station in Los Angeles. I did morning. It was Kevin and Bean from KROQ. They were probably one of my biggest supporters, and they would follow me every week. I would call in. They'd say, "Where's the Wheelie King at now?" And then they would like make fun of me, and they would like try to get me to quit, and they would bribe me with all kinds of things. Like, "Okay, Kurt, we're gonna give you this. We're gonna put you on a private plane if you stop right now." And I'm like, "No, I'm going all the way to Florida." So I had a really good comedy with them. They were probably my biggest publicity as far as on an ongoing basis.
And just explain the logistics of it. You ride 100 miles per day in the air. If something happens where you fall down, does that count?
So the logistics, as far as the guidelines go, it all has to be done on one wheel. So wherever I stop, I have to continue on where I start again, where I stop. So if I stop and take a break, which I'm going to have this RV behind me. And so if I want to eat, if I have to pee or whatever, then I stop right there. We mark it, do what I'm going to do, and then get back on the bike, and I have to continue on right from there. Now, with today's age, with technology, Guinness requirements are a little more strict. They want to have strict video coverage of me at all times. So I have to have these cameras set up in the trailer, which could be kind of challenging because in some areas, I'm going through some parts of Texas where there's going to be no like cell phone reception, where I'm not going to be able to do broadcasting. So it's going to be a challenge, but we'll get through it. I have someone that's helping me with all the logistics on that.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And you talked about your documentary. Now I hope when this is all done, I get to help you write your story, bring your story to life in the book. Okay. So I would love to do that. Give me the opportunity. Yeah. We'll knock it out of the park. But the documentary itself, talk to me about the importance of the story behind it, because that to me is how you inspire and motivate others. Can you go into it a little bit about the documentary and why it's important?
So it's really going to, it's going to come down to, I'm going to talk about where it all began and why I'm so obsessed with this. And this is going to be so cool. I mentioned earlier, my brother's best friend, Dale Clark is his name. He's the one that taught me how to do a wheelie. Okay. I don't think he knows what he created, what kind of monster he created. I don't think he even knows I hold the record. And I connected with him on Facebook. So we're going to film it, and I'm going to surprise him and say, Dale, it's because of you. All this is because of you. And so I'm going to try to get him in the documentary, which would be really cool, man. I think it'd be really cool. And I'm going to go to the exact spot. There's an exact street where he taught me. And I remember vividly, it was on the 4th of July is when he taught me. I'll never forget it. And I go, that is going to be such a surreal moment. Like when we videotape that, when we go to that spot and kind of just show like, this is where Kurt's journey really began. And, I want to show the good, the bad, and the ugly when I do the ride. It's not going to be easy, riding 100 miles a day. I've never, ever even ridden 100 miles a day, ever. I think the max I've ever ridden is 75 miles, and that was one day. And so it's going to be, it's really going to test me physically and mentally. And, I'm not a spring chicken anymore. I'll be 49 years old when I do this. So
you're 48 years old right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
You do not look 48. That, right?
I treat like a beast.
Man, are you eating absolutely perfect? Or are you just like in phenomenal shape?
I do. I mean, I eat pretty clean, man. A lot of this is I think the benefits I'm going to have going into this ride compared to 19 years ago, I'm a little more educated on how my body works, and everything's going to be coming down to nutrition, stretching, foam rolling, just really keeping my body in fine-tuned shape. And when I did it back then, I was just kind of winging it, man. I just got on the bike and went. I didn't know what I was doing. Who do you go to? I mean, who do you go to train? Like, oh, there's no one to tell me how to train for this. Yeah, I can consult with people who do like maybe triathlons, who do long distance cycling. But long distance cycling is completely different than riding a wheelie on a bicycle. Two different animals. Okay, cycling on a bike takes way less energy. When you're trying to balance, it takes a lot of upper body strength. So it's kind of like a full body workout for a 10-12 hour time period every single day. So it's really gonna test me. I mean, it's not gonna be a walk in the park. That's for sure.
Kurt, I don't know if you've ever been to Pennsylvania, but there's a trail that goes from Pittsburgh to Washington, D.C. And I took this trail on my bicycle probably 6 years ago, maybe 7 years ago. And I did it 320 miles in, I guess it was considered 3 days and 5 hours. Okay. But after that, the fourth day, I took a train home and I was down for the count for probably, I mean, it was 100 miles each day. And then at the end, it was like a little bit. I did it on a bicycle, but I was on two wheels and I'm going downhill and all that. It destroyed me, man. And I thought I was in great shape. I was destroyed for a week. Like my knee took like 6 months to heal, all that. So, the respect I have for you to do this is just truly unbelievable. To put yourself through pain, and this is what I think about, and I relate everything to entrepreneurship, because you put yourself through willingness through pain. You're not doing it because somebody's forcing you. You're doing it to yourself. Yeah. But once you're able to do that, you're able to say, you know what? Now mentally I'm stronger. I could really put myself through real hell, and I'll be okay because I've done it before, right?
Right on point. Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And I'm not even. It's kind of weird, man. It's hard to describe, but it's not like, oh, I'm trying to do this to like, I want to make $1 million. Like, no, I'm just doing this because I have this inner drive in me to like do it, man. And even if I don't make a cent on it, I'm cool with it, man. That's not what drives me. That's not what drives me. Some people are driven by money. And that's cool. I have a lot of friends that are driven by money. I'm not one of those guys. I'm driven by testing yourself. And this really is going to be the true test of myself. Those other two records were I'm happy that I pulled those off, but this is going to take me to a whole nother level. When I did the cross country before, it was kind of like we were just on a road trip, and Kurt was just riding his bike. My friends went with me, and it was just like, okay, I only averaged 50 miles a day. And, there's some days where we didn't ride, we were just having fun. But this time it's all business. And it's literally going to be like, there's a very famous race in the United States. It's called RAM. It's called Race Across America. And they do it every year. And literally these guys will race from one coast, East Coast to West Coast, West Coast to East Coast. They mix it up every year. But they do it nonstop. And I think like the world record's like 7 days. You imagine riding across the country in 7 days. That's insane. It's insane. Oh. Yeah, because they go nonstop. They literally ride for like 20 hours a day, sleep for 4, and they go again. So this is kind of in that same ballpark. I don't think it's at that level, but it's definitely it's going to be like go, eat, sleep, really repeat. That's pretty much what it is.
pure. And I'm sure you're going to enjoy it, but you almost have to put your mind somewhere else, right? Is that how you do it? Because I had to put my mind through what I'm doing even – back in the day when I was doing something I really hated, I put my mind somewhere else. And whether it's that bicycle trip or even working out, you put your mind in like a happy place, and basically that's how you get through all those really shitty days. Is that right? Is that how you do it?
Absolutely, man. It's just I thrive on that kind of stuff. So the more pain, the better. Bring it. I love it.
That's amazing, man. And if there's anything that you could say to somebody out there that maybe they're trying to, before I get into that part, the fact that you're able to do this is like you can stay a kid. And I talk about entrepreneurship. Basically, I'm the same type of like energy level that I was when I was 14 years old because I'm so happy with what I get to do every day. And I feel like a kid, and I'm able to still use the same type of creativity and all that. So do you feel like you really were able to like stay a kid and just be like, okay, well, I didn't get old. I didn't get that cubicle job that I hated. And all of a sudden now my dreams don't just die. I don't have to do the normal stuff that everybody said that I had to do. I could really go after and keep going after whatever the hell I wanted.
Totally, man. We come from we're cut from the same cloth, man. Like I'm the same way. I don't. I couldn't be locked in a cubicle, man. I'd go crazy.
Great. If there's something you could say to somebody out there who does have something that's on their list, like my company's called Dream Starters, and really the reason why is about entrepreneurship, but more so it's of the book. People have always dreamt about having their own book, and so we help them do that. If there's anybody that out there that you want to, like, if you're talking to different schools or events, what would you say to people that come to you and say, man, how do you do it, and what allows you to maybe say, screw the world, I'm doing whatever I want to do? What would you say?
Cool. Well, I would say, first of all, you got to look deep inside your soul and see what makes you happy. And once it should take you like a microsecond to figure that out. And once you know, like, oh, that's what makes me happy, then you go after it. And, it may take you a couple months. It may take you several years. I don't know. I don't know what ticks you, but you have to keep chasing after it, man. For one thing, I've learned through these many years of riding like that is it takes persistence. It really does. And you got to just keep chipping away at it every day. And believe it or not, it's not a race. Like you said, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. And if you treat it like that, you can get what you want. You truly can. And so that's, and I'm living it. I'm a student. I'm not a teacher. I'm a student. I'm still learning myself. So, and that's been my mentality since a kid. And so if anyone out there is watching that, that's what I would say. Sit down and be alone by yourself in a room and just kind of chill out, turn everything off, and just sit there for a few minutes and go, why am I on this planet? What am I meant to do here? And it should come to you. If it doesn't come to you, then, oh yeah, you definitely, you need to get out because that means you're trapped in that world. And you gotta, really think about it. Like, what makes me happy? And then once you figure that, write a plan. You gotta have a plan. If you don't write it down, you say, oh, that sounds kind of cool. I like to do that. It's not going to happen. And you got to make a plan, and you make checklists, and then you knock them down each day or each year, however long of it takes, and you keep going after it. And for me, there is no backup plan, man. I'm 110% in.
There is no plan B. I always say that. There's no parachute. I'm going.
Yep, that's right. That's how I roll. That's how I always rolled, and that's how I will go till my grave.
I love that. And there's a guy watching right now. His name is Steve Rollins. He talks about the safety net. Once you remove the safety net, you actually play better. You play stronger. You play really your true strengths.
I do. That's an excellent point, man. He's right on point. And once you commit, it's, I guess, a good analogy, jumping out of an airplane, when you can't go back. If you're going to go skydiving, you're scared to death to do it. Once you jump, you can't turn back. You're already committed. So I do. I truly believe that. Now, it's scary. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm scared to death sometimes, but the passion and drive outweighs that tenfold. So
whenever I would go to motivational seminars last year, I would speak about your vision. And the only way to get that is you write your dream obituary. How crazy does that sound, Kurt? If you write your dream obituary, like if you don't know what you want to do in life, you put the pen to a paper and say, how do I want to be remembered? All of a sudden, now you start doing some real soul searching and saying, you know what? If this was how I was going to be remembered, did he go to his job, not inspire anybody, and then all of a sudden didn't live what he really, really wanted to do in his life and according to his own plans and his own dreams? Or did he go after it? Did he really, really, really live the life that he thought about when he was a kid? A question I asked recently on Facebook is, would your 16-year-old version of yourself love who you are to this day? A lot of people said yes, and some people said no. And it's a shame to see people, A, not know who or how they want to be remembered, or B, say no to that question. Does that make sense?
Oh, absolutely. I agree, man. I think if I 16-year-old version looked at me, I think he'd be pretty stoked and pretty pumped and say, yeah, that's a cool dude.
Man, you're fascinating as hell, I have to tell you. And I'm glad that you commented back whenever I reached out to you on Instagram. People out there, if you're watching this either now, Facebook, YouTube, whatever, I'm telling you, you connect with some interesting people via these social media platforms, and you get to hear their story. So I recommend that to everybody. Is there anything else, website, ways to contact you, ways to donate? Tell us a little bit about this, man.
Yeah, so there's a lot riding on this. It's for the ride to happen next year since, like I said, so this has been 2 years in the making. And I thought I could get corporate America to help me sponsor this.
They don't give a shit, right?
They don't. I went after the big energy drinks. I won't drop names, but you know who they are. And this is a perfect fit for them. I look the part, I act the part. Your return on investment for what I'm asking to do the ride is like tenfold. And you can't buy that kind of publicity, I mean, all I could say is, I was very upset, banging my head against the wall. And it's kind of weird. I got introduced to crowdfunding, and I was so anti. I was like, there's so many other worthy causes out there. So many good causes that need help. No one's going to care about mine. Like, they don't care what I'm going to do. Like, there's so many other people. I thought I'd get lost in that world. But it came full circle. 2 years, I finally kind of opened my eyes a little bit. And, you got to grow, man. You got to learn. You got to grow. So I'm like, okay, I got to look into this. I teamed up with an agency. We're launching January 9th on Kickstarter to help fund this ride. So, yes, please, if anybody's out there, go to Kickstarter and look me up. It'll be under Wheelie Across America. That is my hashtag. That is my Instagram. I'm very new to social media, believe it or not. I've only been on it for about 6 months, man. Like, yeah, I was totally off the grid for a while. And now I just got into it. And so now I'm learning, and, like, this is my first interview, honestly. Like, when you reached out to me, I was like, oh, this dude's cool, man. Like, he wants to talk to me? Right on. This is awesome. So I'm very thankful and very, very grateful that you reached out to me and have this opportunity to, at least give people my story. And I don't know if there's that one person out there that sees this and goes, you know what, I want to go do this, or whatever it is. I don't, whatever it could be as corny as can be. Who cares how corny is Wheeling Across America? A lot of people, that's goofy as hell, but to each their own. I don't judge anyone. If someone says, oh, I just want to do backflips all day, okay, cool, man, go for it. So or some people, I want to be the next Facebook, more power to you. So, but yeah, definitely, please, if you can go out there and help support on my Kickstarter, man, because there's a lot riding on it. And I promise you, once the ride happens, with social media today, I really think this game could be a really cool event. And, hopefully when I'm sitting on Ellen DeGeneres show afterwards, all those big energy drinks that turned me down, I think they're going to be kicking themselves in the butt, going, man, we should have looked at that guy a little bit closer.
Exactly. And if they come to you later on in January, February, guess what? Your value's gone up, so the price has gone up. So just I always tell people that all the time.
That's right, man.
There's a website. Steve was asking a question. Do you have a website?
I do. I have. It's being built as we speak. The domain is thewheelieking.com. Yeah, go figure. But it's not up yet. It will be up by the time my Kickstarter is going live. It will be up. Right now, the focus is generating all the attention on that, because if that doesn't happen, then the ride's not going to happen next spring. And what's unfortunate with what I'm trying to do is it's a seasonal thing. It's not like, oh, I could just, go whenever. No, it has to be in spring, because I am going in the southern route and I'm finishing in, Florida, which is very humid in the summertime. So it has to be done in a small window of time. So it's got to be, that's why I pushed it to May, into May, because of the Kickstarter. It's a 30-day campaign. And if it is successful, across my fingers, by the time everything gets all inked up and, I get my RV and all this, I won't be able to go till probably May, which will put me in June finishing time, which will be really, really warm. So, but if I don't make it, then I got to wait another year. And you know what? I'm cool if I have to. I'll do it, because I'm dedicated. I've done it. I waited 2 other years. So, if I have to wait another year, I will. But this time, I think it's going to come together for me. I think I've aligned myself with the right people, and I'm super pumped.
What's the goal? How much?
47,000 is what we need to raise in order to do the ride and the documentary. So it's a twofold. So, and these are just the hard costs. I mean, I'm renting an RV. But can you believe this? I can't even get a company to donate an RV. Are you freaking kidding me? Like, I'm riding across the country on Interstate 10. Okay, granted, I'm on Interstate 8, one of the most traveled freeways in the country. There's going to be like 5 million people that literally drive by me in that 30, 45-day window, and I can't get one RV sponsor. They're like, no, you can rent it from us. I'm like, thank you. I really appreciate your support.
See, that's how it comes down to is dollars and cents. That's all people care about. So if your value, you actually have to do something really, really big before they actually care about what you do. So,
Totally.
Strategic alliances, I talk about that. It's really, you find the right people who can help you, but you also add value to them. And these big companies out there, they're made up by decision makers who are not owners of the company. So number one, they don't even care about people like you going after what you want to do. They only care about, oh, well, is my boss going to approve this or my boss? And so it's really difficult with those type of people, I think. So I like to deal with small business owners. Hopefully there's a lot of people out there watching right now or on replay or whatever that can help out Kurt Osburn and his trek. And maybe, you guys can work together in type of sponsorship, because if you're a part of something like this, it really shows what you care about, people going after what they really want in life. And I think that's important.
Yeah. I mean, so think about this. This is something that's kind of unique, that I'm offering with, just not to get into detail, but with the Kickstarter, we're going to offer this. And this is so cool, I think. You have an opportunity, like Forrest Gump gave me the idea. Ride along with Kurt, okay? As I'm in different cities. Come ride along with me. I'm not saying the whole trip, but like come ride with me like 5 miles. And you can cruise with me. You'll be in the documentary. I'll put your name on the RV. So I'm going to wrap the entire RV with the people's names. So it's, it's kind of like by the people for the people. That's kind of my motto on this. And you can ride with me and be a part of history and go, when you look back at 2 years from now, whatever, you show your grandkids or your kid and you go, I rode with that guy, man. And I was part of history, because this will be the world's longest, fastest BMX wheelie ever. So come be a part of it. And I mean, how many other Kickstarters do you see like that? I mean, a lot of people, like, they had this new gadget. Oh, I got this new fancy phone, or I got this new fancy this or this or that. No, this isn't a gadget. This is an experience. I'm selling an experience, something that you will never, ever forget. And you will go to your grave with that, and you can pass it on to your kids and on and so on. Say, I was part of a Guinness World Record, and I rode next to that dude. And I got to talk. You could talk with me as I'm riding, So how cool is that?
I think it'd be awesome. And there's something to be said about karma. Like, I really believe in energy. And also, if you help somebody else, no matter what, if you help them with it, $5, $10, whatever, it comes back to you, maybe tenfold, maybe it comes back as is, but there's something that comes back. Now, I've lived this life. 2017, I really made it a goal to just help as many people as possible without zero in return, without zero. And the amount of stuff that came back my way in different angles from different people through social media, the power of it is truly incredible. So I'm a big believer. For something I could do to help out, hopefully I can help out financially. Do I get in contact with you before the Kickstarter? Or
what would be super cool for me would be, once I get the whole, we'll be done with it right around Christmas. We should be done with the whole page before we go live. And then I will send you the link of the Kickstarter. Man, if you could, this is what I could do and help each other. Share that link, because I know you have a really good following. Share that link and spread the word. In return, whatever you want, man. If you want your company on my RV, just saying, hey, this dude helped me. That's all I care about. I mean, and just I'm here to work with other people. I don't, this ride is about spreading the awareness. So if I can help you and you can help me, and all you got to do is click up a button and share that link, man, that's so cool. And I can help you in whatever you want to do, man. If you want your name on the bike, you want your name on the RV, whatever, I don't care. I'm totally open. So yes, I'd be very, very grateful.
You got it, man. Whenever that time comes, let me know, and I'll see where I'm at and what I'm able to do for you. Okay?
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate your time. Good luck with everything. And,
Yes.
you know, there's a lot of people probably watching this that want to get in touch with you. So expect a couple friend requests after this, all right?
Oh, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right, Kurt. Thank you so much, guys. If you're out there and you have a story you want to share, let me know. I want to help you use it as your competitive advantage. Talk to you soon.
Okay.